yesterday's team. It was super good. This is today's team. That was the team we used 2 days ago. And this was the team we used 2 days before that. So we've been using a bunch of weird stuff. Like Kanto Rapidash, right? We're using like Kanto Rapidash, right? We're using freaking Alolan Ninetales and Alolan Sandslash, going into using some Terrakion and stuff like that with Physical Zek. It's cool stuff. I like using the meme picks that we've been using recently. All right, so with this team, what I wanted to do, I really wanted to make room for an entity on this team so it would look like I was doing entity Thievul. Remember guys, Thievul gets Unburden. That usually activates when you pair it with the Pokemon that uses its items. So if you put a Psychic Seeds on it, it doubles its speed and gives it a special deep boost, which makes Thievul a really good support Pokemon. But I wanted to use Thievul in a different way. And remember, the reason we're using Thievul is because it was the most requested Pokemon on yesterday's YouTube video. If you guys want to request more Pokemon on today's YouTube video, whatever the newest video is, it doesn't even matter if you're watching this video in a year, go leave a comment and say, I want to see this, and I'll read your comment, and I'll probably use it. So people wanted to see Thievul, right? And so I wanted to build a really cool Thievul, and I wanted to make it look like you say, like, you're noticing this Kyurem has a Choice Scarf, but it's paired with Comfey with 4 healing. It's like, that's not how that works. Also, that Comfey set's freaking weird. What are you doing here? Weakness policy Thievul. We're going to policy proc our Thievul. We're going to double its speed with Unburden. And then we're just going to one-shot everything. You could one-shot Zacian with Burning Jealousy as Max Flare. Hyper Beam's there for speed control. Dark Pulse is pretty good. Also, it's going to, since we're a special attacking Thievul, we're going to be dropping the special defense of whatever Pokemon that we hit, which is great because we have a whole team of special attackers. So, realistically, this team's sick, right? So we just leave Comfey Thievul. I think Comfey Thievul's pretty good here. They don't have a ton of like dynamic speed control. Yes, they have like Airstream potential from Zapdos. Goodra can get like Bulldoze, I think, and stuff like that. Obviously, Kyogres can go for like max strikes and things. Lunala gets Trick Room. But I think we're fine in like most situations because we don't really have to respect to whims. So yeah, they have a Grimmsnarl. I guess they do have some form of dynamic speed control. They go for Thunder Wave, Scary Faces, stuff like that. But one of the really cool things about Thievul is it's a dark type. So like, I don't really care what moves your Grimmsnarl has, Chief, because I'm immune to your Prankster. I swear, someone's gonna bust out like a Grimmsnarl that's like Choice Scarf, not Prankster, like Thunder Wave. Scary Face. To play around all these dark types in the meta right now. But you can see we're just going to policy proc it up. And Kyogre's still pretty bulky, but like we don't realistically need to over-respect it, right? I think this turn I did go for the switcheroo tech, and I thought they were going to max the Ogre, but it's fine. I've been running Malamar to be a one-stop shop to beat in Sin and annoy people with Ally Switch and Trick Room. Yeah, I think Malamar's a good Pokemon. I do think Malamar's good. If, like I said, we've been doing this thing at the end of the videos or the end of the stream where I send people to the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel videos go live every day at 7 now, and if you guys leave a comment saying, I want to see this Pokemon, this is the Pokemon I want to see, the Pokemon with the most comments or upvotes or likes, whatever, we build a team around it. Like, if we want to see Malamar, we can use Malamar. Your category is Legends Arceus. It is category. That is the category. That is how Pokemon works. To be a correct content creator, you have to go where the people are, and it's completely within the rules of Twitch to stream from whatever the newest Pokemon game is. I think if you were to actually look at the Legends Arceus category, I think the highest person's on there is probably doing a Nuzlocke, and then there's like 2 other people, and then there's me. None of them are really even playing the Arceus game. That's just kind of how Twitch categories work. It's the Pokemon category, and there's like 10 times the amount of people in the Arceus category than there are in the Sword and Shield category, and that's because there's not that many people playing the old Sword and Shield game. But you can see, I went for a eject button strat instead of policy procking because I wasn't pressured to policy proc that turn, and I really wanted to over-respect Max Ogre. So they actually made a really good play, but then also they took tons of health on their Zapdos, and it lost its items, so like that means that Zapdos doesn't get a max option anymore. And so in this situation, you see, even though I want a policy proc, I don't have to policy proc every turn with this team. I can do so many other things. And they don't know if we're physical or special because Thievuls are usually built physical. And we're able to take advantage of that. Grim with Sucker Punch. What about it? What was the question? Hope you do Scarlet and Violet competitive. Oh, sorry. Do I hope Scarlet and Violet are competitive? I don't see why they wouldn't be. You can make a competition out of anything, you know? I am the world's best person at holding my breath. Super competitive. You can make a competition out of anything if you want. That's out here with the stream tips, too. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my absolute best, you know? Like I said, we got the wedding coming up. There's so many things that are happening, you know, that realistically I should be doing a better job about being on my A game as not only like a Twitch streamer, but a YouTuber, as someone that does like Patreon. If I want to make this a career, I should probably start taking it a little bit more seriously and stop like goofing off as much. That's just I don't know. It's my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. About to launch myself on Twitch. Do you have any tips? Yeah, there's a bunch of tips I think that someone that's just starting on Twitch could get. I think the biggest tip that a lot of people don't necessarily give is to be consistent, but you don't need to go like all in. Like I see a lot of streamers doing streams where they stream for like 8 to 12 hours a day, and maybe they're just like going to get affiliate, and that's good. Like if you can get affiliate, you can get a paycheck from Twitch. That's great. But let's see. You don't need to stream for like 8 hours a day. In reality, streaming 8 hours, those 8 hours are 8 hours that you're not being discovered on other platforms. So I would highly recommend integrating like a YouTube or some other platform, TikTok, Instagram, something like that, to bring other people into your Twitch, because that's actually how you get Twitch viewers. Take it as someone who used that to grow their Twitch, right? Obviously right now it's still like 5 in the morning, so we only have like 60 something people, but I wouldn't have any people if I didn't do those things. And another thing is, like I said, being consistent. But realistically, most people come to your stream the first hour that you're live, which is why you only ever see me stream for like an hour or 2 hours, because the viewers drop off, or they go AFK, or they stop interacting. And so you really want to use the fact that you can be live for like an hour or two to your advantage. Like basically you're wasting your time if you're streaming for 6 to 8 hours. You want to do short bursts consistently at the same time every day, build those one-on-one connections with people, and make sure everyone knows that they're important. Treat people like people, and they'll come back. Everyone wants to be accepted. Let me actually just read this. Did I just see weakness policy Thievul? You did. I know I just talked about like making everyone feel included, and I didn't read my comments. I used to beat myself up about not streaming a lot or not being super consistent, but now with the whole Pokemon photography thing popping off, I'm going to focus on that, then pushing people towards the stream, fingers crossed, upcoming YouTube channel. Let me know when you're going to do YouTube, and I can actually help you out. If you guys want to know anything about YouTube, I have so many more tips about YouTube than Twitch that actually are grounded in reality as opposed to just my thoughts, right? Because YouTube has an algorithm. Like Twitch is kind of just like seeing what sticks and trying to get your content in front of the most amount of eyes that you can put them in front of. But YouTube's different. There's actually like science behind how the algorithm works. Do you think it matters if you aren't see a great player? Do people like content or like to see wins? I'm not going to lie, people do like to see wins. But you can look at so many other players, myself included, that aren't even the best anymore, that still get views, right? It's people want, the thing that people really want is someone to talk to, right? That's the thing. People really just want someone to talk to. If you can be that guy that goes live every day and is the person someone can talk to or enjoy their content, yo, thank you, Space Cowboy _X for the follow, appreciate it. They'll come back. A good example of this on YouTube, for example, is Jeans. We were talking about Jeans the other day. Jeans is not like a pro player, and they upload content with rentals. And the reason why people watch Jeans and relate to Jeans is because they upload very consistently. They have good audio. They have good video. They're very consistent in making rental codes. And so he helps other people by giving them rentals. And then when they watch him, they see him learning how to play the team at the same time. So they're learning with their friend how to play a team. It's a really, really cool, not like gimmick, but it's a cool shtick. And that's why it works. You know? You have to have a hook. Jeans is funny. Yeah, he's also funny, but that's not the reason why Jeans is... So, like, funny isn't good enough anymore. We're in 2022, realistically. You can't just be funny. I'm the funniest freaking person in the world. And, I'm kidding. But, yeah, you need to be more than funny. You have to have, like, a reason for people to watch you over someone who's, like, super funny. because if you're on YouTube or Twitch, you're competing with every other person on that platform, and not only that, you're competing with TV, you're competing with like people actually playing their own games, and people also doing stuff in real life. You know, the time people take to watch your videos is time they could be doing literally anything else. So your content needs to actually be different from what everyone else is doing. Otherwise, they're just going to watch someone like Aaron Cybertron Zhang or Moxie Boosted or someone else like Wolf. What about Tim the Tap Man? I've met him before, but I haven't seen his content. You're welcome, dude. I'm following back to a bunch of VGC streamers. Well, hopefully you have a good time. Who's your favorite VGC streamer? I'm actually curious. Don't be afraid to let me know. I just started rank playing. I'm awful. I'm like 55, 96 in Great Ball tier. Hey, next month's your month. You know, month ends very soon. I'm sure you'll get into Master Ball. The thing about the ranked ladder is it's just a ladder. You know, you actually win a lot more points when you win than you lose. So just try and get on a couple win streaks. Maybe use teams that are a little bit more suited for best of one, and you'll get to Master Ball very, very quick. You just got to win a couple more times. Actually, you can get to Master Ball with a negative record. I made a video on that like 2 years ago, just to show. I would win like 2 games, and then I would like lose 3 games. And I would win like 3 games, and I would lose like 5. And I would like intentionally lose them. Just to show that like the win streaks, the compound effect that gives you a lot more points than you get if you lose, especially in those lower tiers. Let's see. Is it good to only use Showdown to train, or is it better to make teams in-game and train for competitive? That's a really good question. We take this first win, by the way. And the second game, look at this. They have Butterfree and Kieran White mirror match. That's so crazy. But yeah, Thievul did work in that first game. Thievul kind of busted. Let's see. I think that if you were to ask me that question like 2-3 years ago, I'd say it's better to do stuff in-game. But with how many resources are available online, like damage calculators are a lot more prevalent, team builders are a lot more prevalent, a lot more people are on Discord and just online in general, I think that you're probably, whatever works best for you. I come from a background where I would get together with a bunch of my friends, we would go out for coffee, we'd go out for like food or something like that, and we would just theory craft. And we would do it all like offline. And I felt that that's how we were able to come up with some really unique ideas that weren't as influenced by what we saw on Showdown. You know, I feel that like a lot of the time when you're playing on Showdown, you know, you can get caught into a mindset or caught into a meta that doesn't really exist just because people are literally just throwing things to the wall and see what fits. But, you know, when we would go out for food, we'd be able to theory craft stuff that maybe might not even really work, but then it's up to us to like find ways to make it work. And I think that's where we can find some really original content, and that's what works for me personally. I'm making a living the meme, so hopefully that hooks. Thanks for your advice. Maybe a Patreon thing. What do you mean maybe a Patreon thing? Should you do Patreon, or if you have more questions, hit me up on Patreon. You can ask questions right now. I don't mind answering these questions. See, this is why I'm doing this sort of stream right now, where we're like loosely analyzing the games. But I can sit here, I can talk with you guys, I can interact, I can drink my coffee. I'm thinking about doing 2 streams a day. One where we do a stream like this, where I can kind of like wake up, go through some games, show you guys some cool stuff. But then maybe in an afternoon we do a little bit more serious streams, where we play some actual like live games and do stuff like that. Well, Lucky Wolf's one of my favorite VGC streamers. Lucky Wolf's an absolute talent. She's amazing. Let's catch back up on this. You're enjoying Pokesports videos lately. I think I met one of them in Milwaukee, and they're an absolutely amazing player in person. The only other person that I wanted to actually play with at the event, because like they reminded me of myself back when I used to play at events, and how I still play today. Like they just want to talk to their opponent and have a good time. How's your day going? How's your trip? See any cool Pokemon? They just want to have a good time, and that's how the game should be played, in my opinion. Viking likes That's and James Beck. James Beck's one of my favorites. Who do you think the best Pokemon is in the current format? I think it's Cali Shadow. Realistically, it just does too much, and the fact that it has Unnerve means you're safe. But you know that could change every week. I think Cali Shadow or Lucky, or maybe even Wims. I'm using a lot of them right now because I think they're all good. I personally think VGC is mostly played out of game, Calc Theory Crafting, and in Team Preview, and is like 33% battling. Yeah, like VGC as a format is like mostly done up here, and then like when the game happens, you know who's going to win from the Team Preview, and those players know who's going to win. You don't even really have to play the game a lot of the time. I personally prefer the trial and error method with teams, but Showdown is fun to test Pokemon without having to breed them. No, I agree. You should definitely do some testing on Showdown, but like, it's not even just trial and error. Like, you see, when I make teams, I like to go through and look at my boxes, and then I pull Pokemon out of those boxes like, oh, I could use this here. I wouldn't even have thought to use Arachnoquid or Kanto Rapidash or Thievul or whatever if I wasn't just looking through my boxes seeing what I had, because those aren't Pokemon you would normally see on Showdown. You say he gives off the same vibes as me, and that's why I'm enjoying it so much. Yeah, I think we're very similar people, because like we sat next to each other at the regional, right? we sat next to each other, me and Pokesports. I don't remember. It's not Raze. It's the other guy. And again, I haven't really watched their content, but I remember there was a person in between us, and so like I'm sitting on the left. There's a person and people playing between us, and there's people on the right. Everyone other than like me and them have headphones in because everyone's super serious. Regional, gotta take notes and be super serious. And me and him are just like talking, and then we start trying to talk to our opponents and stuff like that. We're just having a good time, right? And the guy in the middle of us who has headphones on, he says like, "Can you not talk? I'm playing my match." Which, like, you can't tell someone to not talk. You might. There you go. That's the guy's name. You can't tell someone to not talk. Realistically, you cannot tell them to not talk at a regional. And the guy's headphones in. You can say, "Can you please not talk? I'm trying to concentrate." So I was like, and then Mike did the right thing. He stopped talking, but you could tell he was like disappointed about it. And me and him like looked at each other too. We were like, what is this guy telling us we can't talk? So like I just started talking to my opponent like way more, and my opponent knew that like I was trying to do that too, and we had a really good time. So that was funny, but I was just like, this guy's trying to like gatekeep police VGC, and I'm like, no, we will interact and we will have a good time, you know. And the guy didn't tell me not to talk because I'm a professional Pokemon player. That's +1. But it wasn't even like Mike was being loud either. He was just talking to his opponent. He's like, "How's your event going? See anything cool? Like, is this your first time in Milwaukee?" You know? So yeah, I don't know. It was really fun. I would definitely love to hang out with them. You feel Ray Rizzo should have more hype? That guy is full ninja when he's in the zone. Ray Rizzo is the best player that's ever literally touched a Pokemon game. Like, if you guys think Wolf is like the best, I feel Wolf did take the mantle from Ray, right? And remember, Ray beat Wolf in a World's Finals in like 2012, 2011 maybe. But I think Wolf had like a Magmar team or like an Executor. But Wolf is undeniably, I think, the best Pokemon player of all time at this point. But I still think that like Wolf is like Ray Rizzo 2. Ray's one of those things that's like you actually like you couldn't beat Ray. He went undefeated at one of the Worlds, I think. He didn't even drop like a game. It was ridiculous how crazy Ray Rizzo was. For people that don't know anything about Ray, like, oh, like, he's so good. But, yeah, I mean, thank you guys for supporting the content. See, we have more people than yesterday, right? Because we're in the Arceus tab today. I'm happy. This is good. We got the 2 subs. I got my coffee. You can see how much more like engaged I am now that I got the coffee. This team's so good. Ray and Wolf are great, but Sejun Park is the true Pokemon master. Sejun's a really cool guy. You're gonna meet him at Worlds probably. He qualified for Unite, like TCG and VGC. He's ridiculous. Ultimate gamer. Were they best of 1 still? I think Swiss rounds for Worlds were best of 1. Yeah, Wolf has 1 World Championship, so Ray has 3 in 2 different generations. I know, right? The way that we play VGC stems from how Ray Rizzo plays. Like, it was Pokemon Go, yeah. But like the whole protect, have like one teammate do a lot of the work and have a support Pokemon, that's like a thing that Ray Rizzo created. Before that, people used to use like choice items a lot more in VGC, and it was played a lot more like singles, where you would just pin and sweep. The whole support Pokemon dynamic, the fake out user, speed control, that's something that Ray Rizzo literally like created. And people don't understand that because it was like 15 years ago, but like you got to remember that like he was the original GOAT. It's like the person in Smash Brothers who probably created wave dashing, you know? Raichu Steela. Steela's actually really cool. I was getting huge Max Steela vibes from this team. I was realistically thinking, I was like, I really want to go for the eject button, but I was like, I can probably just trade effectively if I policy proc the Thievul this turn. And you're like, oh, you go for the Max Flare and you get the Steela. And I was like, you don't want a Max Flare. Because if you Max Flare and they Dynamax and they proc their policy on you, they're going to one-shot you. But they can't one-shot you if you don't proc their policy. So, like, you can just get the special D-drop and then bring on something else and just win the game from there. Been walking around listening for other games going on. See, there you go. Why doesn't he play anymore? Well, the thing is, it's like, realistically, there's like a 0.1% player base from back then that still plays. No one from back then still plays. I think, you know, there's just no one plays from back then anymore. People go on and live their lives. Like, are you going to be playing Pokemon in like 15 years? Probably not. Maybe, but who knows? If you are, you're not going to be playing at like a regional level. Like, he plays like show matches every once in a while. He lives in Japan now. What do you think is the best era of VGC with YouTube content to watch? None of it. If you want to watch good YouTube content, I think the best generation is like the end of Gen 4 / like Gen 5 singles era. Like the Shofu era. And Shofu has some good VGC content as well. So anything like that Shofu does, like that sort of era is probably the best like content on YouTube to watch. But like, I think Zhang started his channel in like 2013, and he didn't really get his formula until like 2016 or 2018. So even if 14 was like a good format, or 13 or 15 were good formats, there was no YouTube infrastructure for that. There wasn't. Like, I mean, I think Zhang uploaded some videos, but he wasn't the same. He was still learning how to do it. Everyone was. We're way behind in terms of singles players for like production quality on YouTube. AV Steela. The thing is, like, AV Steela is really good, but because they led Raichu Steela, it was really obvious they were going to max it. And if they were going to max it, it wouldn't be vested, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Ray popularized Defensive Ferrothorn in 2015, so Thundurus is not alone. Well, Ray popularized Thundurus, you know? What do you think? Sorry, did you have a lot of Gen 7 content? Yeah, I had tons of Gen 7 content. Tons. What's up? That's how you doing? I'm flawless. It's not like it's lost to time. It's just obviously dated. That's the thing. Like, you wouldn't get anything by going back and watching it, I don't think. In 15 years, I'll probably move on to judging at events, continue with Pokemon photography and other things. I'll still play at regionals, but I won't go to all of them like I am now. Hey, that's fair. Viking says, I watched Ray's Road to 1 he did months back. He's always 2 steps ahead, wins by being bored. Get him on the channel. No, Ray would never want to be. I don't have that much reach at all. Ray would just send me to the Shadow Room. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Been playing the new expansion for Monster Hunter called Sunbreak, and I haven't stopped since it came out at midnight. Most fun I've ever had. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Do you think some out of the norm Pokemon that checks the meta could become meta? That's how metas develop, you know? Gastrodon is a good example of an off-meta Pokemon that, like, every once in a while just pops up and, like, breaks the game, you know? And you think of Gastrodon as standard now, but it wasn't standard, like, a year ago. Wedge dropping the sub. 12 months, going strong. Your phenomenal content and tips help me break top 1,000 on cart this season. Thank you. Thank you so much, yo. 12 months. Can we put some subs up? Can we put some subs up? I definitely do be appreciating that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. That's so nice. That's so kind. Thank you for coming and stopping by for a whole year. I'm so blessed to have you in the stream. But yeah, look at this. We're just peeling these guys. They brought back some classic monsters I haven't seen since 2013. Seeing my favorites in HD is almost nostalgic. Back in the day, back in like 2012, and you used to have to play on like the DS or the PSP, you had to like, we called it the claw, because you had to like have your controller really weird, because you had to like move with this one. It was really awkward how you used to have to hold the controller to play Monster Hunter back in the day. It was crazy. I thought about playing the Monster Hunter expansion. I thought about it. I've also been thinking about doing a lot more like Digimon content and other like TCG content. So you can expect within the next few weeks to see more content on the TCG channel. But also, like, I kind of want to play some just Digimon games. It's still like that? Okay, there you go. But yeah, I think Digimon is such an underutilized franchise, and I like Digimon. I know like SP Crash is a big Digimon fan too. Digimon's a lot of fun. Thundurus in 2011 was everywhere. Offensive Electric Gem, but defensive Charity Berry was the innovation. Not that he used Thundurus. I mean, well, everyone used Thundurus back then. TCG like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, definitely TCG like Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't know you played Monster Hunter? I've played it, yeah. My friends were really, really big into it. What got you into it? Is it Monster Hunter 3? The one on the DS. Like, where you're on like an island. My friends just played. I was a part of a friend group that played. Yes, play Digimon. I might. Digimon Strive when it comes out? Definitely going to play Digimon Strive. New Digi-TCG is awesome. You didn't pay... Oh. I did pay my taxes, actually. I did. You believe it or not, I did. It was like literally like $10,000. I was sad for like a whole month. Your BSB singles content will forever be some of my favorite Pokemon YouTube vids because it got me into VGC. Thanks for being cracked. Yo, thank you, friend, for stopping by. The DS had 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate, but in your case, I'm gonna guess it was 3. Yeah, I played both of them, but we started with 3. Cookie and cake. Awesome coffee. Actually, I'll have something later. But yeah, no, playing taxes is like rough as a streamer and content creator. I actually, what you need to do, like you need to like save the amount of money to like pay them, but you need to like slightly overpay your taxes. Otherwise, you know, the government puts its eye on you because they're like, why do you just have all this money? Why does your income double every year? You know? So you have to like pay taxes on like everything. So YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, all that stuff. Man, PS3 Monster Hunter, that's that old stuff. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good with this team. I think Thievul's a lot better than people give it credit for. Again, anything that's a dark type that is like the team's Dynamax Mon is really good. Because it basically just really disincentivizes Grims, and that takes so much RNG out of the game. And if they don't bring their Grim, because they can't Thunder over Scary Face you, they also can't screens. So the right play is actually still to bring the Grim and just screens, but a lot of people just don't. What do you think is more valuable? Cover weaknesses or commit to an aggressive team? I feel like your teams always need to not have weaknesses. So realistically, the correct answer is covering weaknesses and playing the game super standard. But there's something to be said for having enough offensive pressure. I think that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with this, right? I know Diamond More Than 5 struggles with this right now, and I've struggled with it in the past. If you start off as someone who's an aggressive player, maybe coming from singles, and you go into VGC, you might initially have some good success, just because you're able to take that really like one-dimensional singles mentality and know exactly how much damage you need to deal, have your flowcharts correct, and just sweep people out of the game, right? And that happens. Maybe you'll have good success for a couple years, but then you're going to hit a patch where when you realize you're like, I can cut some EVs here and go more defensive. Oh, I can cut this Pokemon for this one and play more defensive and play more reactive and do stuff like that. And somewhere along the way, you kind of lose, not like that like killer instinct, but you lose the, you tend to want to mitigate damage and play to not lose as opposed to playing to win. And so I think that as long as you're still keeping that like play to win, like I'm going to win right now, I think that like you're in a really, really good spot. That's one of the reasons why we've been going back and playing so many hyper-aggressive teams this week. And actually, towards the end of this week, I'm going to be uploading a YouTube video where I take everything that I learned in this hyper-aggressive week and start trying to play more defensive teams. And what you're going to find out is I played the defensive teams more aggressively than I normally would have before I went back and re-practiced playing the game aggressively. Is Absol better than Thievul? It's not. Not in this situation, because this team's using an unburdened Thievul. So I think that, like, realistically, the best answer is probably, yes, you want to have a well-balanced team, but you got to know when you can put pressure on without playing too reactive. I play defensive because I have no idea what's going on. And that's like a, you can't do that. I play to win, but I also try too hard of reads, and then you lose. That happens, though. I think that's more of a step in the right direction than trying your best to mitigate damage and just getting taken advantage of. It's so awesome, though. It really shows how funky Pokemon can be. If Pokemon, there's so many different things that can happen. There's so many different things that can happen. Shoot your shot. Yeah, I saw the Dracula Dragon thing. Sarah Connors, how's it going? But yeah, you can see like with this team, for example, very, very aggressive. And it's not just like full speed on other mons, choice scarf, whatever. It's very, very deliberate with exactly how much speed you need to do. And every kind of lead option is like theory crafted and flowcharted. And I think it's kind of cool. I want to do coaching with you. Well, you know, I definitely can, even though I kind of suck playing. Well, I don't even really play at regionals anymore. You know, you've been to a couple regionals with me. I just go and kind of have a good time. But like in terms of being a coach, I've coached multiple players that have all gone on to like qualify for worlds, win regionals, win events. Are you on Medify? No, I'm actually on Patreon, and I think it's actually smarter to be on Patreon than Medify, because first of all, Medify takes a cut, right? And yes, it might be, you know, easier to do on Medify, but on Patreon, I can then use my own Patreon resources to give people stuff to read. I can say, check out this post, check out this. How about you enter this month's Patreon tournament, do this on the Patreon, interact with these posts, and you get like it's like, Medify is like going to a gym or going to someone's house to get like one-on-one training. But like doing it on Patreon is like going to a library because you get access to literally everything that's on the Patreon as well. So yeah, I think that I like doing it on Patreon because also I'm completely in charge of everything that I want to do there. So I personally just like it. But yeah, I've coached a lot of people, and I think that the biggest issue that a lot of players have is, yes, a lot of players are inexperienced, and that's something that you can definitely work on over the course of a few months to get yourself up to a level where you're a competitive player. But it's that they don't correctly bring the right mindset into what it takes to do well at events. I think that's the big thing. Being confident in your play, having the right flow charts. There's so many things outside of the game you can do to win the game. There's so many things you can work on that will give you that slight edge that when it comes time to play at an actual live event, you know that you're going to win before from the second the team preview happens, because you've flowcharted and done all the work beforehand. Did you ever have a goal pertaining to VGC? Honeyman, how's it going? Let me read this one first. I have a problem making teams that end up with who can outraid the other, which is annoying. I mean, but that's where flowcharts come in. It sounds like you need to just do a little bit more work on flowcharts. But do I ever have a goal pertaining to VGC at events? I mean, so realistically, I've top cut like 5 VGC events. I'm talking like regionals. I've won mid-seasons. I've won premier challenges. I've won singles tournaments with hundreds of players, right? You got to remember, when I started playing VGC like 2010, 2011, I had already been playing singles tournaments, winning them with hundreds of players for like 4 or 5 years. And before that, I was like a top-ranked Yu-Gi-Oh player. I top cut the Naruto World Championships. Like, I top cut the World Championships, not just like a tournament, right? So it's like, you got to realize, I had already kind of done anything that I would really want to do in any sort of like competitive card game and or video game type stuff. I already did all that stuff. So I didn't really have a goal. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I've never like really become super mainstream for VGC or not like won a regional, is because like I always wanted to do well, but like at the end of the day, I go to regionals to have fun. I go to regionals to use Pokemon I like. I go to regionals to see my friends. And that hasn't changed in like the 10 years that I've gone. Realistically, a lot of players have gotten better over the years, so it's harder to meme, right? But I still like to think that I'm me at every single event, which, you know, I just don't have that. Like, I'm too old to like have that I need to be the very best in me. I wish I did. I just don't. I'm out here trying to live my childhood dream at 28. Yo, try it when you're in 30s. It's harder. Didn't you win with Mega Sceptile? I went undefeated in Swiss, which is hard to do. You know, even at a regional, usually there's the 2 people that are on the top 2 tables are X1. You don't usually see undefeateds anymore. But yeah, I went undefeated in Swiss at SoCal regionals, Lancaster regionals with Mega Sceptile in 2015. And that's just because I wanted to use Sceptile. But yeah, I've won Premier Challenges, I've won mid-seasons, I've won a lot of singles tournaments. Man, I could talk about the Naruto card game for freaking ever if we ever got on that topic. That would take forever. This game, look at that. Did you see this game? Literally just roll with this guy. Oh my gosh. Like, we baited the fake out, right? And then we just dumpstered. Yeah, I wish I had more of like a competitive drive, because I know that because I teach this stuff, I know what you need to do to win if you really want to. I know how much work. That's another thing. Like, I know how much work goes into that. There have been regionals before where I have wanted to win, and I've, it takes sacrificing your work life, your personal life, just your general amount of time to actually learn all the stuff you need to do and work on your flowcharts so much. It's just a lot of work, and I just, realistically, I don't want to sacrifice those things in my life anymore to do well at a Pokemon tournament. No, the Naruto card game. Yeah. The biggest Max Lightning. It was a big one. Yeah, the Naruto card game. It was made by Bandai in, like, the mid-2000s. But it's a lot of work to, like, win a regional or do well at a regional. Like, I've said this before, and I'll say this again. When I was, like, playing probably my best, well, not my best, the last event that I really tried my ass off, it was Portland Regionals 2017. I did everything. I did literally everything I could for that event. Everything. I could not have done a single thing more. Aaron Zhang ended up winning that tournament. And Aaron Zhang is Aaron Zhang, one of the best players of all time. The only person that beat him at that tournament was me. Right, that's the thing. Like, I went 5-0, and then some outside of the game stuff happened where people colluded and shared my team, and I didn't know about it, and then I lost the next 3 and then bubbled out of Top Cut. And ever since then, like, I haven't been the same. It really sucked a lot of how I wanted to play the game, because I was 5-0. And it was all the struggle and, like, sacrifice that I had to do to get to that point, was paying off. And just have that, like, thrown back in my face is, like, it broke me mentally. I really, like, at that point, after that, I never cared about regionals again. Why do you think the Naruto TCG failed? Gotta avoid the pitfalls in Monster Count. I don't think it failed. The thing is, you gotta realize every TCG is not meant to become a new Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. Naruto had, like, a 12-year lifespan. Realistically, how did it fail? The anime ended. It's like, that's the answer. Card games based on anime usually don't last if the anime doesn't last. How to beat Zashi and Kyogre consistently? Just go faster. Imagine someone spreading your team just to win, and, like, you not knowing about it until after. Kind of think about flying from Belfast to London to watch Worlds. Do you think it's worth it? Will there not be many big names at it? No, definitely go to Worlds. If you can, go to Worlds. Everyone's going to be there, and if you're just a spectator at Worlds, you can actually still play in the Worlds Open, which is a tournament for next season, and you can play in all the side events. There's so many things to do, even if you're not playing in the main event. Please go to Worlds if you have the chance. Maybe it was longer than that. Like, let me think. I started playing Naruto in, like, 2003, and it went to, like, 2012. So it's like 9 years, 8 or 9. Want to be friends? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, but everyone should be friends with Beanie. They're the best. One of the best people at events. I was actually talking about this. I was talking about this with my friends. I'll answer Vector's comment first. I was going to go to a regional with the team you helped me make, but then I got screwed out of a vacation at my job. Never lucky. Gonna be at the Worlds for Go, but VGC also looks fun. Oh man, maybe you can help me. Because I've been watching those Go streams from the regional. I want to start streaming Pokemon Go. I have good Pokemon. Like, I want to play Pokemon Go competitive. I think I could do it. I know how to tap my fingers. Maybe we'll do one of those streams, like, later this week. I think that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, and my team got scouted and shared, and I didn't know about it. And I was told after. So I was 5-0. And I played my next guy. And after they beat me, I was like, how'd you know? And they're like, oh, one of your opponents told me. And then I'm like, all right, well, that sucks. That happens. What are you going to do, right? Next round. If I win one more game, I'm in. I also realized that, like, even if I didn't win any more games, I'd probably be in the top cut. Next round. Same thing. I lose, and my team was super gimmicky. It was super gimmicky. And I lose, and I say, how'd you know that was going to happen? They're like, oh, one of your opponents told me. None of these people told me who. Get to the last round, and I'm like, okay, I need to win this one. Go into the game, playing my game. I'm literally getting mind crushed. I'm going for things that I've flowcharted thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and my opponent's just magically not falling for this shit after everyone else has fallen for it all day, and it goes, and the person beats me, and I was like, how'd you know? Who told you? And they told me who did it. And so basically, at the start of every single round, they were so salty that they lost to me, they went and told all these people, and they saw that I was playing against them, because there used to be a team sheet, not like on your phone. So you used to be able to see who everyone could play, and they were just telling people what my tech was. And so the thing that was the worst about that wasn't that happened to me, was that by and large, a lot of the community said, well, that's what you get for playing a gimmick team. I was the bad guy. Me. The guy that went to the regional, that used cool Pokemon the ways that they like, that sacrificed like everything to go to these things. I was the bad guy. That's what I get for trying to cheese the good players. For trying to make a name for myself. And like, I never looked at regionals the same. Ever again. Ever. I'll still go to them, but like, you won't see me like actually open my heart up to care about them ever again. You know? So, I literally like have, I have like nightmares of that freaking day. But yeah, it was really bad. And the VGC is not like that as much anymore. A lot of those players don't play anymore. So like a lot of that toxicity isn't at the regionals anymore. You gotta remember, this was like also like 6 years ago. Right? So a lot of those players don't play anymore, which means a lot of the problems are gone. And so one of the reasons why, one good thing about this is like VGC is healing. And Beanie is the perfect example, because he's been going to regionals all season, and everyone likes hanging out with Beanie. Beanie's, you know, the good players, the bad players, everyone treats Beanie as an equal, even though it's their first season, right? And I think that's the perfect example of like what VGC needs to move forward, like be so much more accepting. And you know, that's great. I think that's great. Like it's me and Josh were talking about like the fact that Beanie's treated as like an equal that everyone wants to hang out with means that like all those toxic people that used to be around back in the day are pretty much gone, which is great. That's I just watched an old YouTube video talking about changing your profile icon to a Pokemon mascot. That's a +1, still doesn't seem bad. I agree. Feel like it would be a big disadvantage for gimmicky players to be on stream in early rounds. Oh yeah, that still happens with streams to this day. That's why a lot of people don't like to play on stream. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm still salty that happened to me. Let me turn my... There we go. Perfect. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Can't change the past, but you can try and make the future better. And hopefully VGC is going in the right direction, you know? But I want to play Pokemon Go if I can. Let me know if you guys want to see some Pokemon Go content, because like I think I got some good mons. I was talking to some of the Pokemon Go competitive players at Milwaukee about what type of mons you need to do well, and I think I got a shot. And so that's pretty much it for all the Thievul games. That's it. We won a shit ton of games with this Thievul, and it ended up being pretty dang good. So kind of like your model of recording battles and streaming while the recording plays, although understandably that takes double the time. It does, but I'm making it work, right? I'm making it work. This team's really fun, and I think it's really, really good.